Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, so if you're an 8th grader navigating the wild world of middle school math, you probably view it as a pretty solitary and, let's be honest, maybe even frustrating experience. But today, we're going to explore a completely different approach. We are going to take everything you thought you knew about sitting at a desk and crunching numbers and flip it entirely on its head. Let's dive right in.
Now, you might be looking at that and wondering, wait, what does math have to do with ministry? For so long, we've all kind of bought into this old, tired idea that math is just a lonely chore. You know the feeling. You sit there, staring at numbers on a page, trying to figure out X and Y, just feeling totally isolated. But what if math doesn't actually have to be a solo sport? What if it's an opportunity to connect, to lead, and to literally serve the people sitting right next to you in the classroom?
Section 1. Math is a ministry. Building each other up. Here is the crucial point. Math actually grows when we share it. When you take the time to teach a concept to someone else, this amazing thing happens in your own brain. Teaching others sharpens your own skills. It reinforces your memory, and honestly, it skyrockets your confidence. You stop being just a consumer of information, and you become a creator of understanding. It's perfectly captured right here in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. Encourage one another and build each other up. Now, we usually think of this verse when we're talking about being a good friend, say, on the playground or at lunch, but imagine applying this directly to your math class. When you sit next to a classmate who is completely overwhelmed by a tricky geometry problem and you step in to help them understand it, you are living out this verse. You're building them up.
Let's put a magnifying glass on a concept we usually just call peer review. Notice how this definition frames ministry in math. It's explaining your thinking to build clarity, while listening and encouraging others to build community. I really want to tell you right now that your voice matters. You have the power to be a true math encourager. It's not just about getting the right answer, it's about creating an environment where absolutely everyone feels brave enough to try.
Moving on to Section 2. Presenting like a pro. Sharing your portfolio skills.
Okay, let's get into the practical action for the day. You've been working so hard on your math portfolio, and now it's time to take the stage and present one of your skills to your peers. Look, standing up and talking about math can feel a little intimidating, I know, but here is your roadmap to success. Step 1. Speak clearly and confidently. Remember, you know this material. Take a deep breath, make eye contact, and project your voice. Step 2. Show your example and walk us through your process. Don't just skip to the answer. Take us on the journey of how you actually got there. Point out your visuals and explain your logic step by step. And finally, Step 3. Ask for feedback. This right here is where the magic happens. Owning the room means you're also open-minded enough to invite your peers to help you get even better.
That brings us to Section 3, the art of feedback, growing through collaboration.
So getting to that step of asking for feedback, that requires a really special kind of classroom culture. Giving and receiving feedback respectfully isn't about pointing out flaws, and it's definitely not about showing off that you know more than someone else. Let's break down the difference here. On the one hand, we have regular critique. This focuses purely on finding errors. It's like slapping a big red X on a paper and saying, you did this wrong, you forgot the negative sign. It's cold and it's super unhelpful for someone's confidence. But on the other hand, we have ministry feedback, which focuses on building up and supporting. Think of it like watering a plant so it can grow. It sounds way more like, hey, I loved how you organized your steps. I got a little lost on step 3 though. Could you explain how you move that fraction? Do you feel the difference there? One tears down while the other builds up. To help you provide this exact kind of supportive ministry feedback, you're going to partner up and use the math feedback form. It has 3 simple but really powerful sections. First up, what you liked about their presentation. Second, what you learned from them. And yes, you absolutely can learn from your peers. And third, one focused question or suggestion you have to help them hit the mark. By using this form, you're going to help each other polish those final portfolios until they just shine. All right, Section 4. Reflect, revise, and grow. Your homework assignment. An amazing presentation is awesome for sure, but the real learning, the kind that literally changes how your brain works, that cements itself after the presentation is completely over, when the talking stops, the reflection begins. So for your homework assignment, I want you to start by asking yourself this. What part of presenting made you feel proud? Did you project your voice way better than you thought you would? Did you explain a really tricky fraction clearly? Celebrate those wins. But alongside that, I also want you to honestly ask yourself, what made you the most nervous? Acknowledging our nerves is basically the first step to conquering them for next time.
Next up, take a look at the math feedback forms your peers gave you. What feedback did you receive that actually helped you see your work in a whole new light? Think about the specific, constructive advice they handed you. And let's flip that around too. Think about the feedback you gave to someone else. Were you kind? Were you helpful? Did you truly act as a math encourager today? Which brings us to the final actionable step of your homework. You're going to revise one of your explanations based directly on that peer input. This is where you put your pride to the side, take those missing puzzle pieces your community handed you, and use them to revise, polish, and complete the picture. Doing this proves that you didn't just hear their feedback, you actually listened to it and you valued it.
Section 5. Education Grounded in Morality. The Heroesmartacademy Philosophy. As we start to wrap up this explainer, let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. Why do we care so much about treating math as a ministry instead of just, getting A's on a test? It all comes down to intertwining biblical morality with your education. Because here is the blunt truth. Education without morality will hurt. Seriously, what is the absolute point of being brilliant, of having all that incredible brain power if you just continue to make bad choices? An educated mind without a moral compass? That just leads straight into a storm cloud, hurting yourself or the people around you. We want you to be brilliant, absolutely, but we want you to choose the brighter path and use that brilliance for good.
Romans chapter 8, verses 6 and 7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. This is a promise, and it is something we see happen every single day. When you keep your mind spiritual, when you view a simple Tuesday afternoon math lesson as an act of ministry, as a chance to love your neighbor and build up your classmate, you are filled with a true, lasting peace of mind. You aren't just learning numbers anymore. You are learning how to be a light in the world.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. How will you use your education to build others up today? You've got the tools. You know how to present, you know how to give true ministry feedback, and you know that your voice matters. So go out there, be a math encourager, and make a real difference in your classroom. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I honestly can't wait to see how you change the world one math problem at a time.